Okay, so here's an interesting little problem. What we have here is an old motherboard, and a lot of you are going to have old motherboards like this in your computers. And you might be thinking, well, I want to upgrade the storage because maybe I'm making videos, maybe I'm doing something that requires a lot of storage. And what you've probably got is just one M.2 drive. This is it here, the installation port and the little screw that holds it in place. And if you've got one in there on your motherboard and you don't have another one, the one you have there probably isn't a very big one. It might be 256 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes. And it's got your operating system on it. So it's not easy to replace, because if you replace it, obviously you're going to have to reinstall your operating system. So what do you do on this board? These older boards, you only usually got one of these M.2 slots or M.2 slots. So what are you going to do? You could buy a SATA drive, which will plug into one of these, but SATA drives are old technology, and when you upgrade in the future, you probably don't want to be pulling your SATA drives across onto your new machines. So that's definitely a way to get more storage, but it's slower storage. And also, when you upgrade eventually to a new motherboard and a new setup, what you're going to have in your new motherboard is a whole bunch of these M.2 sockets, right? So we want to be using the M.2 SSDs, but we want to upgrade this motherboard now before we go for a whole motherboard upgrade, which is going to be very expensive. I'll need a new motherboard, I'll need a new processor, I'll probably need new RAM because we've moved on to DDR5 RAM rather than DDR4 RAM. So what are we going to do? How are we going to get a little bit more storage? Well, the answer to this is you can install an M.2 drive. And I'm going to show you how you can do it in this video. So what we've got here is an interesting thing. The communication between the M.2 drive and the motherboard and these sockets here is the same. They are both PCIe sockets. So this is a PCIe communication, this is a PCIe communication. We don't need to worry what it stands for. It's the same. And in these slots here, I can install PCIe devices, right? So they communicate the same way. This is the communication for a video card on this motherboard. So you probably got this already occupied with your video card, if you're doing, especially if you're doing video of some kind, video editing, etc. You'll have a video card on here. But what you also have is this one. And if you read down here in the corner, can we read that? It says PCIe X4. That means there's 4 channels in here. And if you look at the side, you can see that there are connectors only up to this point in this one. I don't know if we can see that. Can you see that? You can see electrical connectors, a little bit hard to see, all the way up to there on that one. And on this one, they go all the way to the end. So this is a PCIe X16, I think they call it. And this is a PCIe X4, but this is your video card. So you're going to shove your video card in there. What you want to do here is, and this is a PCIe X1, so this is what just one unit of this looks like. So we've got this little bit, our communication system here, and our power here, I think. That's how it works. Or is it power and communication? Don't know. Who cares? The point is that we can do something with this, right? We can do something with this. And what we can do is we can go off to the Amazon and we can order one of these fellas here. This is an adapter card. And I'll just take it out of the bag. This is an adapter card that has the same M.2 socket on it and positions for an M.2 drive, and you can get different size drives, and that pops in there, right? And if you look here, it says PCIe Express 4.0. That's the communication method. We're up to generation 4. But this card will be able to slot in, and this is also an X4 card. So check your numbers in these. This is an X4 card. This is an X4 socket. You can see in there, probably not. Let me see if I can turn this around. You might see it upside down. So here we go. PCIe X4. Okay. So what can we do? Well, we can take our expansion card and we can just pop it straight in here. This card's just on the desk as an example. I'm going to do this with another computer. But you just pop it in there, screw it into place. It's not going to sit flat now because this little bottom bit here that I'm touching drops below the level of the motherboard. And this you'll screw into your output area. And you've got your, now what we have is a PCIe drive. So I can put my SSD here, and then what I do is I rush out with my hard-earned cash and I buy myself a little PCIe card. 2 terabytes. So originally on the computer that I'm working with, I've got a 256 gigabyte drive in here, and I'm going to expand my memory up to another 2 terabytes on this card, and that should all run nicely just for extra storage. It'll be fast, and the great thing is that when I do upgrade to a new motherboard that has more M.2 slots in it, I can just throw this away and connect my new drive to the new motherboard, no bother at all. So there you go. There's a little wrinkle for you. Good way to do a quick memory expansion of your computer without going to a great deal of expense. This thing I think cost me about a tenner, and you can get them cheaper than that. Sorry, no, not that. This card cost me about a tenner. 2 terabytes now is about 100 quid in the UK. So you can get that for about 100 quid. And the speeds between PCIe 3 and PCIe 4 aren't that much different. So PCIe 3 card might be a little, 3.0 card might be a little bit cheaper. Remember, we've got the generation of PCIe communication. So higher is better. So this is PCIe 4.0. This card probably, this motherboard is probably PCIe 3.0 generation. And you may actually have an older motherboard that is PCIe 2.0 generation. So, but they're all backwards compatible. And the point is, so you should be probably thinking about buying your hard drive to be compatible with your new motherboard that you're thinking about expanding to in the future, which you will be doing, because SATA drives are probably not going to connect up to some of the newer motherboards that come out. There probably will be a couple of SATA sockets on them, but a lot of it's just solid state stuff now. These guys here were quite good because you could put movable drives on them. So these movable drives, I mean, what are we? So these sockets were probably quite good because you could stick a either an old-fashioned hard disk with an actual moving disk in it, or you could put new solid-state drives on here. But it's slower communication. So what you want is to use this. You're probably not using it for anything else. This motherboard did not have Bluetooth, so you could get a Bluetooth card for this motherboard, but it's just as easy to get a Bluetooth dongle and stick it into a USB port as it is to use that. You're better off with memory on your motherboard, and it's fast. It'll be just as fast as this, or very nearly just as fast as that. You'd have to test it to make sure, but there you go. Little wrinkle, quick, easy expansion, quick, easy, a very quick, easy upgrade that you can use to increase the capacity of your computer, and with any luck, I've just noticed that right at the bottom of this socket here, it says USB 3.0 at the bottom of the socket, which is kind of cool. Anyway, there you go. Hope that helps a few people expand their memory. And remember, when you upgrade your motherboard, you can take that drive and you can stick it into a new motherboard. I didn't particularly buy Crucial. I think somehow, for some reason, I think they've got a bad reputation at the moment, so they're selling their parts a little bit cheap, but I've never had a problem with their stuff. But there are numerous manufacturers, other manufacturers available for these, and they're all about the same price. You're paying about 50 to 60 quid a terabyte at the moment for solid state drives. So there you go. The really big ones are going to cost you because there's more technology involved in getting that together. But yeah. There you go. Quick, easy upgrade. Hopefully that helps.